Thank you, Colin. We'll see you later.
Thank you very much. Right, we've heard all about the horrendous cases of trolling on the internet, and only last week Olympic gold medalist Rebecca Adlington spoke about the trolls that have taunted her and made her withdraw from Twitter.
But trolls have largely managed to remain anonymous until last Wednesday, when Nicola Brooks, whose life turned into a living hell after being targeted by internet trolls, accused her of child abuse, and she made legal history after winning the right to name and shame her abusers.
And Nicola joins us now to explain her story, along with her lawyer Rupinder Bains, and welcome to both of you. An incredible story, a real story of bravery actually on your part for actually going through with this all the way to make this change actually. But let's start at the beginning, because this happened because of something quite unusual, really. I mean, this was back last November, and the X Factor's all gearing up, and your daughter, you're all on Facebook, and your daughter notices that on Frankie Kokosa's Facebook page, the open page, people have been posting quite nasty messages. And it's a public forum, so anybody can read these, anybody can see them, and you thought that it wasn't right.
Yeah, the page was brought to my attention from my daughter and her friends, saying that the abuse he was getting, and he was a national hate figure, and I thought people liked him, and I looked at the page. It was a Saturday night, like up and down any household in England, looked at the page, and I couldn't believe the comments and the abuse that he was getting to this 19-year-old boy at the time, and ranging from young kids up to 80-year-old people. And I left a comment saying, keep your friends and family close, they'll move on to somebody else, just stick with it.
Simple as that.
Yeah, and I didn't really think anything more of it. Didn't go back online till a few hours later. I was checking my emails, and then I got the notifications through, and I went back on Facebook, and I saw all these notifications all coming off Frankie's page. So I was reading some of the comments in reply to me, and at first I thought, oh, it's just banter, just ignore it, and I did answer some of the comments back, and at the time I didn't notice, but we go through the evidence, you see there's a clear pattern emerging. It's the same names over and over again, and it quickly turned from X Factor and Frankie just to personal comments about me, myself.
And it was the speed at which this happened that shocked you the most, and how vicious this actually was.
It turned. It was a day later. It was absolutely shocking, the viciousness and the types of graphic sexual comments and violent threats towards me, just for talking on Frankie's page, and it really shocked me. It numbs you. You're seeing it on screen, and everybody else can see it, and you can't get it taken down. So me, my friends, we would report, and it was only a few days later I contacted Bains Cohen and the police on the same day, because quickly I realised, after I saw the fake profile go up, they used my name.
So tell us about that.
It was a couple of days later, and they took it a step further. I didn't know this was there. It was my daughter that saw it again, and they'd taken my name, my photo, my profile image, and set up this sex paedophile profile, saying, actually approaching young girls, real teenagers.
Pretending to be you?
Yeah, pretending to be me, saying, add me.
Suggestions that you were a drug dealer, suggestions that you were a prostitute.
Yeah, they were saying that about me anyway, but then the fake page went up, and I thought, I need proper legal help with this, because this is not right.
You briefly mentioned the report button. There is a report button, so if you don't like something, then you can report it. Once you press that a number of times, did you get any response at all?
None.
Nothing.
None of us did. None.
So you went to the police first of all to explain what had happened, and you'd printed off all of you'd sort of taken screen grabs and given them the whole file, sort of say, look, this is what has been going on. And what did they say to you?
The police station, I was in the interview for less than 15 minutes. The WC police officer that was dealing with me, I was trying to stress to her about the fake profile. I said, yeah, the abuse towards me is one thing, and that's bad enough, accusing me of being a paedophile, drug dealer and a prostitute. I said, but these are real little girls. These are somebody's daughters and sisters. You need to look at this, because if these people are doing it online, what are their activities offline?
But this is the problem with online, isn't it? At the moment, there's no sort of legally, they haven't committed any crime as such, although it would appear like that.
And she told me, I said, okay, can I leave it with you so you can look at it? She said, you can leave it, but we won't read it.
Wow.
She said, we cannot possibly deal with every complaint we get.
Well, Sussex Police said that they asked Facebook to remove any abusive posts about you and insisted that they were investigating the case. The spokesman said, we need to gather evidence to prove who the person is for a successful prosecution to take place. And this is what you've actually gone for. This is where you did manage to get that fake site taken down, but that's the only thing that was actually
it was
removed.
Actually the lawyers got that removed. It was nothing to do with the police.
So obviously what you want to do now is to get at the people who are posting these messages,
Absolutely,
these violent, nasty individuals. And so how is that done?
Well, this order that we've obtained, it's called a Norwich Pharmacal order. It's kind of a disclosure order. What we'll do is to serve that on Facebook, and they are then compelled to release to us any information they have to do with the people who are posting this information. That could be their email addresses, if they're genuine, their IP addresses, ISP providers, anything that they've used to log on.
So anyone who doesn't know, the IP address would pinpoint the location of the computer.
That would,
it's like
yes.
your computer address.
That's
And
right.
once you've have that information, then what happens?
Well, we'd have to pass it on to investigators who would hopefully be able to track down who these individuals are. If the information that we obtain is not as detailed as what we'd like it to be, a further order would need to be obtained against the ISP providers like BT or Virgin, and they would then have to provide us the details of the bill payer's address. So that would bring us even closer.
Did you respond to them? Because you look at because they eventually ended up publishing your home address.
Yeah, I did at the beginning, like I said, I answered back, but some of it was banter, and I
Yeah.
thought, oh, you know. But when it got...
Would you have played it any differently, do you think, looking back at
no,
what happened?
No, because I think I had absolutely every reasonable right to defend myself. Nobody else was helping me. The police wouldn't investigate. My friends and my family, they were wanting to jump in and say, wait a minute, you can't do this to this woman, this is not right. And I said, no, please stay out of it, because they'll troll you, they'll start on you.
Well, you'd been poorly as well, and they were picking on the fact that you'd been in hospital, you'd had operations, they'd had all sorts of things.
It escalated because they took it off Facebook, and they started definitely finding information about me on other places. So, because I was convalescing from an operation last year at the time, which I used Facebook to talk to other people all around the world that have the same disease as me and had the same operation. So.
Well, last Wednesday, on the 6th of June, the High Court granted that order compelling Facebook to disclose their names, their email addresses, as you said, the IP addresses, Internet Protocol address, which can be used to find out where that computer is. Of course, there is a risk that it'll all be fake.
Of course there is. There's always going to be that risk. But from what we're seeing from the records that we have and the varying times and the address times that these trolls have logged on, it's highly unlikely that they're going to be at internet cafes at those times.
Yeah.
So we're hopeful that we're going to find them. But obviously there's no guarantee.
If they turn out to be young kids, just kids messing about?
I don't think that they are young kids messing about, because since this has been going on for 6 months, and people on Facebook have actually contacted me and come forward and said, your trolls are my trolls. And they're an organised gang that have been operating for years. And this is what they do on purpose. This is why they use Facebook. They steal people's photographs, information, and they literally crucify you with it online.
So if you find them to be real, then what happens?
Then we proceed down the route of a private prosecution. We have the legislation in place, that's not a problem. The legislation is there, we have the harassment acts, etc. But what we don't have is the middle enforcement section. There's not enough officers out there who know what to do. You mentioned Fabrice Mwamba, Louise Mensch, all those cases have been dealt with, and it's the police that dealt with those. So there are officers who know what to do, but if you go to your local station, they haven't got a clue.
Well, I mean, the great issue is here that these people have been named, and that's Liam Stacey, who's from Pontypridd in South Wales, jailed for 56 days for mocking, as you say, Fabrice Mwanda after he had his heart attack. Sean Duffy, jailed in September 2011 for targeting the 3 teenagers that had died in Tash McBride, Jordan Cooper and Lauren Drew. And then a second person to be jailed. The first was Colm Cross, who posted obscene messages about Jade Goody. And so these people have been found, they have been named, they have been
It seems like
shamed.
the tide is turning, doesn't it?
It does, but there is a clear disparity between the general public and, say, those that are in the public eye. The police are using their efforts and their resources to find people where it's somebody that's a celebrity or a sports person, but know.
You haven't quit Facebook, have you?
No.
Why didn't you come off?
People said at the time, why didn't she just close her account or, come away from it and not bother? But the type of abuse that was going on towards me and that fake profile involving other people's children, that's not something you can ignore or walk away from. And if I shut my profile down, I wouldn't have collected half the evidence that I've got today that makes this case valid.
Do you worry about more abuse after coming on here?
I get it anyway, Holly. It happens all the time, whether I'm on TV, in newspapers, they see it, they take it, they rip it apart. So, it just doesn't stop.
Well, Facebook are willing to cooperate, but they need a court order to do so. And they didn't oppose the application. They're not being forced into doing anything at all.
No, we contacted them in advance.
Yeah.
And let them know what was happening.
Well, they have said that they will reveal users' names and email addresses if a court order orders them to do so. They have to do that for security.
That's right.
And their statement is, a spokesperson said that there is no place for harassment on Facebook, but unfortunately a small minority of malicious individuals exist online, just as they do offline. We respect our legal obligations and work with law enforcement officers to ensure such people are brought to justice. And hopefully it won't be long before you know who they are.
Absolutely.
And so therefore we all will. And thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
If you've been affected by internet trolling or bullying, have a look at our website, itv.com/thismorning, for details of helplines.
After the break, Alistair McGowan will be back soon.